Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into exactly what Bitcoin represents right now, in 2026, mapping its wild journey from a fringe cypherpunk experiment to a major macroeconomic reality. So think about wealth storage for a second. Usually, when we picture a vault securing global value, we think of physical things, right? Concrete, steel, heavily armed guards. But how do you secure wealth without any of that? How do you actually build an impenetrable vault entirely out of sheer mathematics? To figure that out, here is our roadmap for today. 1. The digital vault. 2. Thermodynamics and math. 3. The maturation S-curve. 4. The sovereign reality. And 5. Asset or collective delusion.
Let's jump straight into Section 1, the digital vault, rethinking global wealth.
There is this massive conceptual tension between how we've always stored wealth and this radically new approach. Traditional vaults absolutely depend on human institutions. You have to trust banks and governments not to fail or not to seize your assets. You are placing your ultimate trust in a third party. Bitcoin, it totally flips the script. It removes that trusted third party completely. Instead, it relies on decentralized cryptography, meaning your funds are secured by thermodynamics, immutable math, and open source code. It's a completely different paradigm. Which brings us to Section 2, thermodynamics and math, the mechanics of the vault. So the absolutely crucial piece of the puzzle here is deterministic scarcity. Unlike fiat currencies that central banks can just expand or manipulate whenever they want, Bitcoin's monetary policy is strictly locked in by its code. This code mathematically enforces an absolute, unalterable cap of 21 million total coins. That's it. There will never, ever be any more than that. And driving that deterministic scarcity is the halving. It's this built-in mechanism that automatically slashes the amount of new Bitcoin created in half every 210,000 blocks, so roughly every 4 years. This predictable downward curve of issuance is just relentless. It continues stepping down continuously until the very last fraction of a Bitcoin is projected to be mined somewhere around the year 2140. Right now, following the 2024 halving, our reality in 2026 is a block reward of just 3.125. That means every 10 minutes, exactly 3.125 new Bitcoins are issued to the network. It enforces a level of absolute supply certainty that is, frankly, virtually unheard of in traditional global finance. All this scarcity is locked down by what's known as an architecture of trust. It relies on a decentralized consensus of purpose-built computers consuming massive amounts of global energy to solve intense math puzzles. That's proof-of-work mining. By churning out SHA-256 hashes, these miners securely add a new block to the ledger. And to guarantee those blocks happen steadily every 10 minutes, the network automatically recalibrates the difficulty of the puzzles every 2018 blocks. It is literally a self-regulating thermodynamic machine. Moving on to Section 3, the maturation S-curve, from experiment to reality. You kind of have to ask yourself, how did a super obscure 2008 white paper by the pseudonymous Satoshi Nakamoto force the capitulation of traditional finance by 2026? Well, it followed this staggering S-curve of adoption, tracing a maturation phase from a total fringe experiment straight into a globally recognized asset. Just think about this rapid evolution. We start with the very first Genesis block back in 2009. Then you've got those early true believers buying pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin in 2010, and the initial massive transacting on the Silk Road dark web. But then, boom, the curve just accelerates. By 2020 and 2021, massive corporate adoption kicks in, companies like Tesla and MicroStrategy putting it right on their balance sheets. And that momentum just slingshots us directly into the incredible institutional and sovereign breakthroughs of 2024 and 2025. And that brings us to Section 4, the sovereign reality 2024 to 2026. When you actually stack Bitcoin up directly against fiat currencies like the US dollar or physical gold, its unique properties really pop. You've got extreme digital portability, meaning you can zap billions of dollars across the globe in minutes. You've got cryptographically instant verifiability without needing some bank or assayer to give you permission. Plus, obviously, that hard 21 million scarcity cap and its censorship resistance. When you put all those traits together, the explosive institutional appeal we're seeing right now makes total sense. And that exact matrix of traits has fueled some truly mind-blowing milestones. January 2024, 11 American spot ETFs launch, suddenly giving Wall Street direct exposure. By December 2024, you've got BlackRock, literally the world's largest asset manager, recommending a 2% portfolio allocation. Then come the historic sovereign moves. March 2025 gave us the US executive order establishing a strategic Bitcoin reserve, and by late 2025, the Czech central bank was already running its own testing. Seriously, a total paradigm shift. Finally, Section 5, Asset or Collective Delusion, the Unresolved Debate. Now, even with all these massive, sovereign milestones, we have to step back and look objectively at the fierce, totally unresolved paradox that is currently dividing the world's top economic minds. It essentially boils down to this stark juxtaposition. Is Bitcoin a permanent, algorithmically secured sovereign asset, a realized macroeconomic reality acting as digital gold? Or is it the most resilient speculative bubble in human history, something with zero intrinsic value that's just surviving on narrative and wild volatility? For the major financial powerhouses and governments actively stockpiling it, the answer is pretty obvious. They argue that its algorithmic scarcity has permanently cemented its status as a legitimate reserve asset. To them, the math itself is an unquestionable, rock-solid foundation for value. But on the flip side of the debates, you have Nobel laureates like Joseph Stiglitz, John Tirole, and Paul Krugman pushing back hard. They argue the exact opposite. To them, Bitcoin is an incredibly inefficient network that totally failed its original goal as an everyday payment system. They literally call it a collective delusion, a highly volatile, virtual speculative asset that serves absolutely no socially useful function and is just coasting on pure hype. So here we are in 2026, stuck in this absolutely fascinating paradox. We have a decentralized peer-to-peer code base that was originally championed by cypherpunks to operate completely outside the traditional financial system, and yet it is now fundamentally, deeply intertwined with centralized government and institutional adoption. Ultimately, no matter where you stand in this intense human debate over its intrinsic value or macroeconomic legitimacy, this digital vault of thermodynamics and math is gonna keep running exactly as programmed. It's going to adjust its difficulty, hash the data, and reliably produce a new block every 10 minutes. The network itself doesn't care about the debate. The real question is, what will you choose to store in it?